Hello everyone, it's that time of the year, the most wonderful time of the year, championship season. So as part of our preparation, we're going to include some underweight javelin throws. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the what, the how, and the when to make sure that we're using the right mindset when we're throwing underweight javelin so that it can help us perform our best when it matters most. So number one, the what. So we're gonna throw underweight javelins that are about 100 to 200 grams below competition weight. So for men, that means 700 to 600. For women, that means 400, 500. If you're in a master's category, 100 to 200 grams below what you would throw in competition. So our goal, right? What are we trying to do? It is not maximum distance. So there are some rules of thumb, and you may have heard this from other coaches, that, if you can throw a 600 gram, as a man, if you can throw a 600 gram javelin 90 meters, then you can throw an 800 gram jab 80 meters. The same goes for women throwing a 500 gram javelin 70 meters. You should be able to throw the 600 60 meters, things like that. So there is something to be said about having the arm speed to throw a light javelin fast. That is not why we are including them in our program. What we are trying to do is to improve our ability to relax with the lighter implement, to make it a little bit easier to have good posture, focus on our rhythm, and then throw as a reaction to the block. So we're focusing on rhythm, relaxation, posture, and then throwing as a reaction to the block. The distance may be the same, but if we go into the practice with that intent, that's gonna help with our timing, our sequencing when we get to those championship competitions. So, how? I touched on that a little bit. How are we gonna throw the lightweight javelins? We are going to focus on clean flights, loose arm, smooth rhythm, and then violent setup into the block, throwing as a reaction to the block, letting the javelin do what it does. We are not overusing the arm, trying to smash it with our arm and seeing the javelin go very far with the light weight. So we're trying to reinforce the whip-like motion as a result of a block, right? We're not overemphasizing the arm. And the when, right? So you need to be throwing lightweight javelins when you're physically ready to have a high intent practice. We do not want to force throwing the lighter implement. So if we're sore, we're tired, we see that our sequence is getting a little bit worse, right? We're not feeling as good as we do with the competition weight. Cut the light implements, go back to the competition weight, or maybe, end the session, right? So we need to be high intent, high readiness to execute these underweight throwing practice. If you start to feel higher tension in the arm, maybe some stress in the shoulder, elbow, forearm, that means you're overactive with the arm. It's time to cut that underweight javelin session. So when used properly, underweight javelins can really help you boost that reaction to the block and your ability to be light and relaxed. Good luck. I hope we have personal bests at the big meets when they matters most. All right.